Hi guys, I'm Anissa and I'm back with another video, and today I want to share with you a Friday Reads. I haven't uploaded a Friday Reads in ages. I don't remember when I last posted a Friday Reads, and I just came home a little early today and decided to sit down and film because I also haven't been filming very much lately and I haven't uploaded anything in over a week. And I mentioned on Twitter, I don't know if anyone or how many saw it, but I did try to vlog last week and was supposed to have it up over this week, but the vlog content it's probably the worst I've ever seen from myself in terms of quality, in terms of me being in a bit of a state. And it's not because I don't want to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, not one bit. I actually do talk about it. Did talk about it in my vlogs a lot, but it was just I don't know, it was just not very good. That's what I want to say. And before we get in further on into my Friday Reads part of it, I want to state very firmly that I am a supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement. I have been supporting with donations, signing petitions and all of that, all of the things that you can do as a foreigner. But I'm also boosting the Black Lives Matter in Denmark because there is quite a bit of racism here as well. So I've been doing what I can there as well. And yeah, it definitely changed my personal reading plans for the last couple of weeks. I had plans on reading a couple of these titles that I'm going to mention today already and soon, but they were bumped up because of this whole thing and me wanting to put a little bit more focus on those black authors, because I think that was necessary. And on top of that, we have what I've seen from She Who Must Not Be Named is hurtful and terrible, and I really dislike how she has been speaking about the trans community. I don't think it is forgivable at all. I think she needs, I mean, I know that people can always learn and they can say something wrong because they are misguided or they haven't read up on things or for whatever reason they can learn. But in her case, I think it's a lost cause. I honestly don't think that she's ever going to be changing. And I am so sad that an author who's had such a big impact on our reading life and on a lot of people's reading journey is such a terrible human being, is what I'm gonna say. I have, if you know, been rereading her series over this year, and I was actually planning on continuing with it, and I still might be, but I won't be talking about those books on my channel any longer because I don't want to show support to an author who's been so terrible. I just can't believe that she could be this, like she could be like this. And if you are under a rock, it is obviously J.K. Rowling I'm talking about. I just want to clarify. I mean, I should never say never, but I will try definitely not promote her in the future, and I will stress that others shouldn't either. I mean, I know that you can separate the author from the written text or the book and the author from each other, and I agree with that, and that is possibly why I might continue with reading the series over this year. But considering she's still alive, if you buy her stuff, you're going to be supporting her. She's going to get your money, so I will stress that you shouldn't support her in that way. Obviously, if you don't agree with these thoughts, you do you, but I don't think you should be here. If you have those, if you think that that's okay. I I don't understand how she can be so hurtful, and I don't understand why she can't try and be in their position, try to see things from their perspective instead of thinking of her own perspective all the time. And what is it that she's so afraid of? Is she afraid of the fact that it's probably not about her in this specific instant? I think that's it. Maybe she's used to always being in the center of attention. I don't know, but she's definitely dealing with it the wrong way. And I'm so happy to see Daniel Radcliffe's response to her, like to this situation. I will leave a link to that down below, as well as the actually also Ed Redmayne. He also commented on the on this whole topic, and it made me happy. And maybe now we need to put a little bit more focus on who to read instead of J.K. Rowling, like a stand-in. Like, who should we pump all of those middle graders, young adult readers to read instead? Like, what should their new obsession be? A couple of authors that I definitely think I will suggest is Jessica Townsend, who writes the Nevermore series. Like, it has the same kind of whimsy that the Harry Potter books did, so I think it's a really, really great place to find a replacement for that. But also Rick Riordan's books, also because Rick Riordan is actually a very, very decent human being, and you can also see that on Twitter. I think I've seen a bunch of reasons why I like him as an author, as a person, in the last couple of months or weeks since all of this has happened. And also, I know that I don't know how much Rick Riordan exactly gets for having his name on that Rick Riordan Presents line, but I am happy that he uses his big name to spread awareness to marginalized authors. And I think in the beginning I worried that it was just going to be Rick Riordan-esque type books with a different person of color, because like Ara Shah and The End of Time reminded me so much of me reading Percy Jackson, just with a girl perspective and a Hindu mythology perspective. But I have also read Dragon Pearl and Ara Shah and The End of Time, and Ara Shah and The End of Time is one of my favorite books of the year. I think it's really, really recommended. It comes highly recommended from me, and I think it's a great book. And I have been I want now to sort of read all of the books that is in that line, just because I think it's a good, I'm happy that at least they are being promoted. Then we have Tamora Pierce, who has also been talking against J.K. Rowling, what she's been saying. She's also been talking a little bit about some stuff, and I would definitely recommend her books as well. So I think maybe soon I will try and restart the read along of the Total books. If anyone are interested in joining in or in continuing with that, then let me know. Now let's get into some books that I have been reading. I think I will wait and talk about the finished books until my mid-month wrap-up. I'll be doing one next week. So today is just going to be what I'm currently reading and what my plans are for the weekend and the next week. The first one that I'm currently reading, I'm actually only half an hour away of finishing it, and that is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This book has been on my most anticipated TBR video of the year. If you remember it, if you've watched it, you may remember that. Otherwise, I'll leave a link to that video up above. And even if there are like a handful of other books that's come out that I'm really excited about from the same list that I also need to get to, but I haven't had time to yet, I decided to bump up this book and another book before I get to them, because at this present time we need to put focus on Black authors, because we need to make sure that the publishers know that we all care about marginalized people as well, because right now that is thing that's not happening. Like, a lot of authors of color are being avoided or not published because they are from the published belief that we only want books from white people, which is definitely not the case. So for my own personal reasons, I have decided to bump up a couple of books by authors of colors, just to to make sure that I get to them first, like now, more or less immediately, and then I'll gradually work on my other things and other books over the year as time goes. But another book that I am currently reading and close to finishing is The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. This is the second book in the Winter Night trilogy. I've had this out from the library, and I think I have what equals to about 60 pages something left, and I will, something like that, maybe 70 pages, and I would think I can read that in a couple of hours, so I believe I'll finish it this weekend. I have been enjoying it. I think it's really nice being back in this world. I like Catherine Arden's writing style. Back when I read the Anne-Marie McLemore, like, what was it called? Wild Beauty by Anne-Marie McLemore, I mentioned that their writing was similar to Catherine Arden's, and I still think that there are some similarities, but I think that Anne-Marie McLemore is the better author, a better writer, but I still think that the atmosphere is captured really well in this book. So that's what I want to say about that. Clap When You Land, I forgot to mention. Again, this is not scripted, I guess you can tell. Clap When You Land, I'm really enjoying it. I think it might be my favorite by Elizabeth Acevedo. It follows two perspectives. We follow two girls who both lost their father in an airplane crash, and they find out that it's the same father, but they don't know about each other. So after this happened, they find that he has had a separate life where he had a daughter, and it is sort of their way of dealing with loss, with grief, and with also coming to accept that there might be another person, or do you want to add them into your life and stuff. And I have really been enjoying the discussion of it. Elizabeth Acevedo writes mostly in a sort of different format. She writes the first book, The Poet X, was slam poetry, but the two recent books, With the Fire and High, and this one has been written in verse, so it's still in a different format, and it goes pretty quick. I think it's 5 hours or something like that, a little more than that maybe. And I have really been enjoying reading this, and it is narrated by Elizabeth Acevedo herself, and she does a really good job in that. And it gives definitely a different atmosphere than your general normal written text, so I definitely recommend it for that. I also currently am reading Spook's Secret by Joseph Delaney. This is the third book in the Last Apprentice, or the Warstone Chronicles, and I am about 75% into it. I'm page 262 out of 350, I think. Yeah. Currently it's okay. It's very fast-paced as usual. I needed to get moving on these because they're due at the library really soon. I wasn't able to renew them. Let's get to what my plans are for next week. As I said, I might continue my reread, but I don't think I'll be talking about it on my channel, my thoughts about it. I am able to separate it, but I don't know if I want to talk about her on my channel for sure. You can let me know if you want to ever hear about her again, and I will do a consideration, but it depends on if others find it very hurtful, because I definitely can understand that. If I don't want anyone to be uncomfortable watching my videos, so I don't want to talk about her in my videos if it makes anyone uncomfortable. Anyway, let's get to my plans for next week as well. Another book that I am planning on reading and starting on next week is a buddy read. I'm buddy reading The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin with Rhea from the book Finch. We talked about it. It was fun because we were actually talking online, like a video thing. Not long after the whole corona stuff had happened. It was back in April. I remember we were talking, and we were just both excited that we just gotten book mail, and we both had gotten this one like in the mail like more or less the same day, and we were really excited about it, and then we agreed that we had to buddy read it, so we decided to try and read it next week, or at least start it. N.K. Jemisin is one of my go-to authors. I really want to read all of her books. And this is urban fantasy. I think it's going to be extremely fun, and when I finish this I want to go and read How Long to Black Future Month. I will get that copy of that. There should be a short story in that is in this world, and then I want to go and read her other trilogy, the trilogy and the duology she has outside of that was published before, the Broken Earth stuff. So otherwise I don't know. I think I need to get to some of my Stagnant series books next week. I will definitely be listening to the next book in the Gaslight mystery series because it's been a while and I have to get moving on those Stagnant series books. I also think I will maybe try and listen to Dread Nation by Justina Ireland, just because it's narrated by Barney Turpin, and I really enjoy her narration style, so I might be getting to that one. Otherwise I'm not sure how much else I will be reading. I will maybe start my next Discworld book, which is going to be The Truth, and I also need to find TBR Unwrapping to read, but I haven't decided on that yet. Maybe I'll just try and continue with Hero of Ages and see if I can finish it, and yeah, at least get working on it. But this is my update for this week. Let me know in the comments down below how you've been doing. Let me know what you've been reading, and if you've read any of the books that I've been talking about today, what are your plans for the weekend? I am personally going to try and relax this weekend as much as I can. There's going to be sort of sometimes good weather, sometimes not so much. Today is a little bit overcast but still warm. I hope everyone's doing okay, and still be careful with everything. If you go out to protest, careful. But I support you. This is all I had for you today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.